And welcome in for another A Member a Day through the holidays. We are live at 4:45. Live at 4:45. That's going to be the new time for live videos. I just decided that today. Patrick, what do you think about that? We're talking to Patrick today from Pegasus Games.
I think it's a great time to start.
That's always a good time, but you got to have some way for people to remember it, right? I'm sorry. What?
Absolutely.
Like, so you got to have something in there. So I figured, 5:45. We could have done live at 5, but I thought, why not 4:45? Let's catch them before 5 o'clock, especially on election day.
Yeah, it's a busy day today.
All right, Patrick, with Pegasus Games, tell us a little bit about this great gaming store. And it's been around a long time in Madison, longer than you, but you got involved and are now owner of this store.
Absolutely. So this store, as you mentioned, does predate me. It's actually 40 years old. We turned 40 this year. It is Wisconsin's oldest existing game store. So there's a lot of history. It's been in Madison its entire life. So a lot of history in the community as well. It's always kind of been a home away from home for gamers. We do our best to welcome and cater to all of the different gaming communities. For me, that was something I personally enjoyed as a kid coming here. So my already rising passion for games was complemented and sparked by this amazing place. And when the time came for them to try and sell and close, me and Dennis came together and decided that letting all that history die would just be a crime, and kind of made it happen.
That's great. I mean, gaming is such a passion for, people that really get into it. And you said that you told me before as we were just kind of chatting that you were always gaming with your family. It was kind of this thing your parents did, got you into it, but then you had a great experience at that exact location and thought that's really what kind of hooked you for Pegasus, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My family got me started. My dad taught me Magic when I was 6. I was horrible at it, but it started that passion. And the gaming community here, generically in Madison, the gaming community is incredible. It's well received and very well put together.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, it's great. What else can we do that kind of brings you to a completely different place that's interactive and you get all these different choices and options? I mean, there's so many different games, but so many of them have a lot of variables to them, and I think that's kind of unique. You can play the same game a bunch of different times and have different outcomes, so it
Absolutely.
keeps it fresh.
Yeah, that's part of the beautiful part about gaming. I mean, there are really simple games to extremely complex strategy board games, and depending on what your interest level is, including your age range, there's no age limit on games. So it spans everyone. It connects the whole world.
My brother's huge into gaming, so whenever we get together with my family, he brings like a stack full of games. In past years, especially when we get together in the holidays, things like that. And I'm not sure. So a bunch of games most of us aren't familiar with, but it takes like an hour and a half to explain the game sometimes before we even get started, which doesn't work for everybody.
No, not
So,
always.
so like you mentioned, some games are easy to jump into and play, and some take a little longer with all the rules and understanding it. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more about some of the people you've noticed and their preferences based on those type of different games.
I find that we have a few games in the store that we call gateway games. They're intro level strategy games like Ticket to Ride or something simpler that is not too hard to learn, and it gets you into the ideas of a broader strategy game. And a lot of times when people start those, I'll see them coming in a week or 2 weeks later and kind of trying to take the next step up because it sparks something in them. A lot of people mostly start with just generic card games, simple stuff like Uno or any of the things along those simple lines. But but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to really pin down any particular interest. It's so wide span.
So you guys offer a lot of different games there. Tell us some of the most popular ones that you have.
Our most popular games. I guess let's break it down into categories first. As far as board games, our most popular would probably be Catan. Settlers of Catan has just stood the test of time. Carcassonne is very popular. Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. If you get into like card games, some of our more popular ones are Magic the Gathering and Pokemon. We've seen a recent surge in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is exciting, but Magic definitely takes the cake there. Role-playing games, D&D and Pathfinder are both incredibly popular. I love seeing all the people getting into D&D. Because when I first started playing D&D, which wasn't even that long ago, you didn't tell people you played D&D. It was more like something you just kind of did with your friends. And now everyone's out there and doing it, and I think it's incredible.
That's so funny. That's one thing I remember playing that as a kid too. And my brother played probably more than I said. I told you he's a big gamer and he loves all this stuff. But it's something he openly talks about for all this time, but now he's like, look, I'm not a nerd anymore. All these other people play too. It's great. And I think it's so funny because you have the games themselves are so creative. Like, you create your own characters, you get to like do all these different, like you mold what you want, and then you make decisions based on scenarios, and there's different outcomes. I love that. I love that about those type of games like D&D.
There's no limit to it. It's just your imagination.
That's fantastic stuff. Okay, so Patrick, in the store as well, and we talked about gaming a little bit and what that's like now these days. So, what kind of things are you doing to kind of adapt to the current situation with the pandemic and things like that to keep your gaming store going?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody had to adapt. I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of a weird catch-22 for us right now because one of the first things we decided to do in light of the epidemic was close down the game room. So our in-store gaming is not open right now. But on the flip side of that, people are stuck at home. They're bored. So we're selling games and puzzles and everything else. But that alone is just a convenience of my business, I guess. More along the lines of what we've done to adapt is one of the first things we did after deciding to close the game room is we got an online presence. Previously, before we took over here, the store didn't have an online presence. So that was something that we tried to streamline right away. Not only that, we brought in our social media so that we could try and connect to our player base a little more and keep everybody informed about what's going on and everything while they're not able to come in and play. So we've also done a little bit of online gaming. We do MTG Arena, Friday Night Magic every Friday, as well as we've put together a decent amount of like Zoom or tabletop games through Steam for some of our local players just to kind of get together and still be able to play.
I think it's, everybody's trying to get creative with the technology and make it work for them. And in your particular business, that can be a little more challenging, but sounds like you guys have found a few ways to at least stay engaged with some of your big gamers and supporters, which is great.
I'm definitely trying. That was my number one reason for deciding to do this was just so I could be a part of the community. The community means a ton to me, so I love to try and connect it any way I can.
And when you look one more time about the Pegasus game store, so it's on Odana Road.
Yep.
Is there, based on where we are and current guidelines and things like that, or is there a hope that at some point here in the not too distant future you can start to host some type of gaming events safely again? Have you thought through that process a little bit?
Absolutely. It is actually a discussion point that me and Dennis have had multiple times in the last couple of months because it's something that we're passionate about. We want people to be able to come in, home away from home, get together. But on the flip side, we want our customers to be safe. We want them to feel valued. So it's been back and forth, and I don't really have a definitive answer. The best I can say is that when both me, Dennis, and the community feel that it's safe to come back together, we will reopen our doors and welcome people home. But that's about where we're at right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a waiting game, like for all of us. But I like the fact that you've actively thought through it and you're trying to get there because it is really important. You talked about it. I mean, in this current situation, this climate, people are bored. They're looking for something different to do. We're a little tired of technology, most of us, a lot of the time. And so a break from that, what other great way can you break from it and really, really engage your mind, but some other things by taking on one of these great games?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you mentioned Dennis a couple times. When did you guys get into this again? If you covered that already, I apologize, but I think you said about a year ago. Were there thoughts before that point to kind of take over the store or have a gaming place of your own?
It was kind of a funny thing that happened. So myself personally, when I was 19, I thought about buying a game store in Ripon with my dad. We debated going in together on one. It didn't happen. So that's always kind of been in the back of my mind. But Dennis actually was the one who told me about Pegasus, that they were selling. I didn't even know that they were selling. He had put an offer in a while ago, but it got lost in translation. And then when the store officially announced that they were closing, he was like, wait, I want to try and save it. I've known Dennis for a while, both through mutual gaming interest as well as my dad. So we kind of came together. I was actually on vacation at the time, halfway across the country when he called me. He's like, hey, Pegasus is selling, I want to try and figure something out. And we got to brainstorming and we got to talking. We made a call to the previous owner, typed some stuff up. And the day I flew back in, which was 3 days after they had officially closed their doors, we went in and talked to them and put in an offer and decided to buy the place.
I love that spirit, that energy. That's great. What a great story about how you made it happen. So,
On top of my own passion for it too, Dennis actually has been gaming his whole life. And one of his very first jobs in high school was here at Pegasus. He used to work the counter. The kind of funny, small little world.
I love those are amazing interactions and just connections that you make over time. So that's some pretty cool stuff. Well, Patrick, congratulations on taking on this new gaming store and keeping the tradition going. I love that you guys did that. And I know, hey, we're adjusting to this world in 2020, but it sounds like you guys are helping provide a really valuable service by still offering people games and the opportunity to play and do it safely. So keep up the great work on that front.
Appreciate it. It means a lot. We do what
Uh,
we can.
all right, so tell us again how we can reach you both online, if there's the best phone number to call, and then, of course, your physical location once we're ready to go there again.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two main sources online. We have our online store, which is pegasusgames.com. Primarily, that domain is used for promoting games in the Madison area. So whoever is doing what events, we'll kind of put them all out so people are aware of the gaming community. New releases, new games coming out, just updates in the gaming world. Connected to our domain is our shop, which is pegasusgames.com/shop. That's where we have all of our items that we're able to reorder or continue to get up and posted. Anything that's kind of weird right now in backstock because of the way that distribution is working. We don't have online, but we have 80% of our store online, as well as our trading cards. So like Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, those are connected through our domain as well. There's a link on there that takes you to TCG Player, which if you're not familiar is basically just eBay for trading cards. And we sell through there. Otherwise, we do all of our main promoting of events and sales and stuff through our Facebook page, which is just Pegasus Games.
Great. And then, I didn't ask this question. I want to make sure that people knew about this. So, if they want to order from you, they can call, I'm sure, or they could look at things online and order
Yep,
games. And you do have pickup options, right?
we do. Yep, we do curbside pickup, and yeah, we do curbside pickup.
Okay, great. Any shipping options at this point for people if they are ordering a game?
We do actually. Yeah, we have shipping. It is not free, but we do split costs with you,
Okay.
just to try and get it out there as cheap as we can for you.
All right, great. So we think we've covered everything. Thanks so much for your time, Patrick. Thanks for carrying on the tradition of Pegasus Games and telling
Absolutely.
us all about it today.
I appreciate your time today too. You guys do good work over there.
All right, that's Patrick from Pegasus Games. Don't forget to check him out online, pegasusgames.com and Facebook as well. Patrick, take care of yourself, okay?
Will do. You too.